Okay, so this past weekend I listened to a live stream where grown men were upset over the fact that LeBron James basically isn't worshipped in sports media, and how there's some sort of vendetta against LeBron James, and how there's some conspiracy to tear down his legacy and discredit his achievements. This was by far one of the most bizarre streams I've listened to. Now, I'm not going to name drop the channel, but I'm pretty sure you know who they are based on their worship of the quote-unquote king himself. But to be fair, I do enjoy some of their content. There were a few statements, which I'll play a little later, that I just really have to react to from both the host and a panelist. But other than thinking they are running out of topics for content, I just thought this was a really crazy bit of commentary. First of all, who in their right mind thinks that sports media is trying to ruin LeBron's legacy? How? For voicing their opinions or constructive criticism? A channel that almost focused its entire content on the GOAT debate is upset that big media talks about the GOAT debate. Every achievement LeBron has accomplished has been met with overwhelming media buzz across the board. I mean, ESPN had a scoring tracker for him before breaking the all-time scoring record. If they want to erase or discredit him, why would they put so much effort and emphasis on him achieving something like that? They were dead set that guys like Chris Broussard, Rob Parker, Charles Barkley, Stephen A. Smith, and others have this vendetta against LeBron and bring up Michael Jordan in a good light to tear down LeBron. First off, why? Why would any NBA-focused entity focus on a retired player who hasn't been on a professional basketball court as a player in over 20 years? Why would they want to erase, as they said, LeBron James, who is easily the face of the NBA currently, and even once he retires will probably be the most talked about player due to his recency? I mean, yes, they are absolutely trying to erase and disregard LeBron, because in 2022, when the Lakers and LeBron weren't even in the playoffs, Undisputed's first topic was, you guessed it, LeBron James. I'm not sure if they understand what the terms erase and disregard mean. Erase by definition is remove all traces of. Disregard means pay no attention to, ignore. So they are erasing, removing all trace of, and disregarding, ignoring a player they talk about almost every single day. Okay, that makes absolutely no sense. Or they mean they are trying to erase or disregard all of his achievements. Okay, that would mean something if he wasn't an active NBA player. The point of some of these shows and the point of some of these journalists and analysts is to report on what is currently going on in that sport, not a thorough breakdown of each and every player's career. Technically, LeBron James passing Michael Jordan in 30-point games is not a noteworthy achievement. No one probably knows who the other top 5 players with the top 30-point games are. It's literally only noteworthy because of who it surpassed, which is the only reason it was highlighted on these shows, because of the perceived greatness of MJ and how breaking that record is now special. But ultimately, the fact that LeBron James is still playing, and no doubt playing well, he's going to be subject to criticism and differing opinions. Kobe, before he retired, had that. Tim Duncan, before he retired, was criticized or just not talked about. Did the fact they didn't worship the ground Tim Duncan walked on or called him slow and old take anything away from him being called the best power forward of all time since he retired? Kobe Bryant, before retirement, still had flashes of greatness, but at the same time, they still point out that he wasn't what he used to be. That's what true sports analysts and journalists do. And then there's this obsession that Michael Jordan was never criticized when he was playing or even after he retired. I recall in the 80s he was called a ball hog, solo artist, selfish, talented but not a winner. But even if you don't think so, media was a lot different back then. Once sports debate shows started like Cold Pizza and then branched off, is when talking points that would raise differing opinions altogether began, and once everyone jumped LeBron James into the GOAT debate is when you started hearing point and counterpoint on his career and achievements. So ultimately, networks and shows like First Take, Undisputed, and others spend time discussing both players for the same exact reason those guys' whole channel exists, and they talk about the same exact topic every week on their streams. Because, Exhibit A. This video titled LeBron vs. Jordan Heated Debate got 420k views in 6 days. Compare that to Shannon Sharp talking about Nikola Jokic and Russell Westbrook, 134k views. How about LeBron James' birthday talk with Stephen A, a whopping 101k views. The simple fact is the manufactured debate is a draw.
More than anything, the GOAT debate is literally the most trending topic in basketball since it hit social media.
And content creators and the media are going to drift to what sells. They do it, You guys do it. I even do it. It's a polarizing topic, and if everyone just made it seem one guy was the GOAT and wasn't subjective like they should be in a debate that has no right or wrong answer, then it would ultimately devalue the entire existence of a GOAT, because there's no baseline or factual criteria anyone can come up with to even debate it. Especially not one of the men mentioned in the GOAT debate has ever played a perfect game from start to finish, or had a perfect season or seasons. No player has had a perfect playoffs. They've all missed shots, turned the ball over, made silly fouls, so on and so forth. So why they're not, as kids say these days, glazing LeBron at every waking moment is because they have this thing called an opinion. And they don't have to share the same exact opinion as you as a creator. So with that said, I have to react to two moments on the show, which I played a sound clip from both. First off, one of the guests with his comparison.
He sat here and he talked about, immediately went, well, the Lakers got their whooped. They got their ass beat. When you talk about, and I hate to bring it up again, but I always got to do it, but when they talk about the Chicago Bulls and the Celtics, what do they talk about? Do they talk about Jordan getting swept, or do they talk about him scoring 63 points and a compliment that Larry Bird gave him, and that's where the conversation ends? Sit here and they talk about 63 points and Jesus and sneakers. They talked about LeBron James dunk. They talked about, oh, well, he got his ass whooped. They couldn't just praise the moment the way they praised the moment.
This might be one of the worst analogies ever. There's a big difference, a huge difference between the clip he's referring to and the series he's referring to. Yes, Michael Jordan and those Bulls did get swept by the Celtics, but individually it was historic because Michael Jordan set a record that stands to this date. And the other clip is of LeBron James completing a dunk. A very cool and impressive dunk for a 40-year-old, I must say. Much can you praise a dunk when the team was blown off the court? So sports media should stop what they're doing and take 30 minutes out of their show to highlight that LeBron James dunked the ball. I mean, where was his outrage when 42-year-old Vince Carter was dunking the basketball? Now, if that dunk set some historic record, absolutely highlight it. But just because it's LeBron and it was a cool dunk should not receive 10 minutes of adulation from anyone. Of course, outside of that channel. Then there was this.
A lot of bad things in their life. Y'all can't name me nothing LeBron James does bad. It's not my fault that this man is actually 100% innocent of anything that y'all accuse him of. Like, legitimately, what has LeBron James done to make you say that we have to critique him? That he doesn't do nothing. I've heard people say he's too friendly. He likes to be liked. Like, that's your problem? That means there's something wrong with you, not him. For y'all to say here that no one can't be perfect, and there's somebody who's perfect, that's your problem. LeBron is perfect. There is nothing wrong with LeBron James. I have not seen nothing that I can say I hate about LeBron James enough to critique him. The man is perfect at everything he does. He's perfect in life. He's perfect in basketball. Why are we hating this man for? What? What cost? What does he do that we can critique LeBron James about? Please tell me. Let's hear this. I would love to hear this.
I was speechless when I heard this, and it's just wild. I'm one of those that think Michael Jordan is the GOAT. I think he's the greatest player of all time. But not on and definitely not off the court do I think he is perfect. In fact, part of him being the greatest, in my mind, is the fact that he had imperfections but found ways to turn those into a positive for his time when everything was said and done, and overcoming some of his early imperfections to become a better player as his career progressed. I'm sure that's the same reason why there are those that think LeBron James is the GOAT. And guess what? That is perfectly fine. No pun intended. But calling any human being perfect, well, I'm not going to speak on this any further. I mean, you can basically equate that show to this.
Pick up those 3 parts.